Hello guys, got a video today on how to change the battery on an iPad Air 1. So as I'm going to be making this video and also carrying out the test myself, I haven't got a tripod or anything to put the camera up on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in stages. So just talk you through initially what I'm going to do with the first step. So it's a case of heating up using a hairdryer or a hot air gun. I'm going to be using a hairdryer myself on sort of relatively high temperature, not too high, not too close up. Probably heat it up around the edges for around 1.5 to 2 minutes. So you go all the way around on the edge just to loosen up that glue. Then what I'm going to do is use one of these prying tools to sort of get the edge up, put that into the edge, follow it around. You can use a thin piece of plastic if you've got the bits to obviously carry out the job, the tools, or you can use some sort of a thin piece of card, follow it around. You got to be very careful on the edge, don't go far in, because obviously down here you've got some connectors, you've got the home button at the bottom as well, so there's connectors there, connectors on the side, so you want to stay close to the edge, loosen it all the way up around, and that screen should come off. So I'm going to start off by the heat now. As you can see, I've got the prying tool in there, so what I'm going to do is follow it around with this piece of plastic all along the edge, just to get that screen loose, to eventually take the screen off. Pretty much loose. Now what you want to make sure is there's a connector on that side, so when you do lift the screen over, you want to take the screen to that side, just to avoid damaging obviously that connector. That's sort of the connection part that I'm referring to. So you want to take it over that way, camera on the left, home button on the right, take it away. Then what you want to do is you've got 4 screws. 1, 2, that one's already off. I think somebody's already been at this one. 3, 4, you want to take those screws off. And then what you can do is you take the screen, you lift it off, and that goes to the right because your screen connectors on that side. So home button, you lift it off and you take it to the right. Right guys, so I've taken the screen off, like I say, you put it to the right. Now an unusual thing here is, you've got this cover here, you'd have 3 screws there. This hasn't actually got the 3 screws. So someone's clearly been at this one. Battery I think may have been replaced previously, someone's done a very poor job. One of the screws weren't in, the bracket hasn't got screws fitted in, so I think they've done a really poor job on this. That's probably one of the reasons battery needs replacing again, probably used a very poor quality battery. So normally, like I say, 3 screws there. So what you'd do is you'd unscrew that, but because obviously this hasn't got the screws, we're just going to go ahead and unclip that, and obviously that'll allow you to put the screen away to the side. The next steps is disconnect, connect to here, disconnect, connect to here, and this one here, so it clips up from that side. Then what you do is you take that out from there, and what that'll allow you to do is take that off. Obviously it's got some adhesive on there, makes it a bit difficult. Put that to the side, and then what you want to do is you want to turn this over and use some heat on the back, heat it up, because obviously the battery is also glued in place. Once you've heated that up for again 1 or 2 minutes on a reasonably high heat, not too hot obviously, you know, to where it's going to be absolutely heated up where it burns your hand. So then you want to turn it over once you've obviously heated that up, and then slowly remove the battery. Again, prying at the battery to remove that from the edges, starting on the edges, working your way in. Right guys, I've heated that up now, so I've turned it over. What you want to do before you start taking the battery off is take that screw off there, and then sort of ply up the battery along the edges, working your way in all along the edge. Probably want to use two like that. Start on the edges, work your way in once you've taken that screw off, and then eventually there's a clip part there that'll pull out this way, lift it, pull it this way and sort of upwards, and that'll come right out. Right guys, so I've done that, and here comes the battery. So you can pop your battery on the side, and obviously get your new battery out. So here's a new battery. Comes with plastic, and then what you want to do is remove that plastic. Obviously that goes face down. Once you've installed it, after installation, you can take that blue liner of the battery off. Actually, that plastic there, obviously it's clearly been replaced previously. That's why the old battery still has that blue left on it. That's not an original, that's actually a replacement battery as well, and they haven't even bothered taking that off. When you put this in, now I'm not going to be able to do this while I'm recording it. This basically, lift that part up slowly with a prying tool. There's like a screw, sort of a screw under there. So this part of the battery, the edge of the battery, along that part, it sits over the screw. So you lift the upper part up, and then that sits back down, and you'll hear sort of a slight click. So it click in place. And what you can do just to make sure it is in place is lift it up ever so slightly and just tug on it, because if it's in place correctly, it should hold. So obviously that's in place correctly because I'm tugging on that, it's not going anywhere. And then obviously it's a case of screwing that back up. Alright guys, so once the battery's back in, once you've screwed that, you've got to put these connectors back in place. So obviously you've seen the order that I removed them in. They're connecting, going to be connected back in obviously the same order. You can pretty much see where those connectors go. And then obviously it's the digitizer going on after that. Once obviously you've got the connectors back on, put the screen down, all 4 screws, screw them back up, all 4 sides. Okay, so when it comes to putting the screen back down, what you want to do is you want to put some adhesive glue, slight bit of adhesive glue around the edges, just to make that stick back down properly, and just sort of go along the edge with what you can use is a small cloth or something, just to sort of go around the edge, just to stick that into place. Guys, obviously once you've done that, working perfectly fine. Yep, seems to be working fine. So that's how you change the battery.